Remembrance Day is about remembering those who made the ultimate sacrifice with their life. It is also a time of reflection for those who have survived but had life-changing injuries. People take for granted the way of life we have now. This wouldn't be possible if it was not for those who gave their lives, not just in the World War but in recent fights too.
My name is Fred Bunce. I'm the chairman of the United Ex-Service Council, Wolverhampton. I joined the Royal Navy in 1947. My first ship was HMS Hehir, which is at the Crest-off. When the war started, I lived in a small terraced house. In that time, that was a tight-knit community, a really tight-knit community. There was hundreds and hundreds of terraced houses. There was no locked doors in those days. Everybody trusted everybody else. During that time, one night, a German bomber dropped a stick of bombs. One landed about 100 yards from me. That was an elderly lady and a baby was killed there. Then another one dropped about a quarter of a mile away from where I lived. That killed two of my school chums. Shortly after that, a landmine dropped. Now, landmines were fairly huge things. They could be up to 8'6" in length and a couple of feet wide. They carried two types, Germans. One was 1,000 kilograms and the other was 500 kilograms. The one that dropped in Broad Light, if I remember, it was one of the big ones. It didn't explode. It landed in soft mud near to a pool. The Navy Bomb Disposal Squad was called because it was a naval weapon, in fact, it was a mine. And they looked at the situation and said, "You've got 4 o'clock to get the people out of the following area." And of course, we were very close to it where I lived. And so we had 4 o'clock to get out of the house. So we were all evacuated. I was sent with my elderly grandfather down to my mother's sister, down in Great Bridge Road, where the Coles had their first business in Great Bridge Road, Billy Cole. And we were there for about a month before we came back home, yes.
The aero engine industry was huge in Wolverhampton with Sunbeam under the leadership of John Marston and Louis Coatlan. A lot of the aero engines that were used in the Royal Flying Corps, as it was then, the Royal Naval Air Service, were built either directly by Sunbeams or under licence. A lot of aircraft were built in and around Wolverhampton, and of course a lot of motor vehicles as well. The local battalions were very active in the Great War, and a lot of local men also joined other regiments. My own grandfather, for example, joined the King's Shropshire Light Infantry in 1915, and many went on to serve all over the world.
The camaraderie, you can't put it into words, honestly, you can't. You get out there and, you know, for people like myself who've done quite a few tours, you're sort of in that, as soon as you get to Bryce Norton and you're preparing to fly out, you're already in that zone. You've said goodbye to your family, you've pulled the front door shut, you've got in your transport, you've been taken to the terminal, and you're already in that mode then, if you like.
We was a crowd of people that knew one another, we lived with one another, you know, and we fought with one another, and it was easy as that, really. You know, we got on with everybody. There was odd times when there was somebody, you know, a bit disheartened and he went off the rise a little bit, but we soon get them rallied round, really, you know, because we have to, as I've said, you're there together and you have to get on. And if somebody's a bit down, you just help them. It's as easy as that, really.
I think when there's trouble, I think it's automatic. Everyone falls to be the same level of everyone else. They all seem to be in the same boat, and one depends on another person when trouble's around. And I think perhaps trouble is one of those things what brings people together more.
I think it's critical to remember our servicemen and women. They give what they have, and we often hear talk of the military covenant, and part of that covenant is not just the state looking after those who are wounded in mind or body, but it's also the people of the country, and we owe them that. It's a debt of honour.
I think we need to understand that the reason why we're now having this conversation and speaking in our natural tongue is because of what people gave for us to have that privilege, for the democracy we live in. I know everyone can use that answer, but it is so true that we have the freedom we have because people, before they'd even had a chance to live a life, gave their lives for us to do that.
Oh, it means everything really, you know. We've got to remember all those people that didn't come home. These are the important ones, the ones that never came home, and there was a lot of them. If you take the Somme, for instance, how many were killed it's been on the radio again this morning, how many was killed in one day, you know, over 100,000 people. And so these people have got to be remembered, and this is why I'm here today, just to give the support to these people here, yes.
My granddad Hadford was in the First World War. He was in the Battle of Somme. He'd be about 18, 19 years of age. He lost his leg and he lost an eye. As a child, he led me to believe that he was playing football on the beach and he caught a cannonball which blew his leg off. Never actually asked him about his eye because you just don't, do you? My granddad also had a son that fought in the Second World War. Unfortunately, he didn't survive and he's buried at Hamburg.
It was high cost, the First World War, the Second World War, and since all the conflict since has been heavily paid for by lives. I wish it ended now. Not Remembrance Day, but fighting in general.
So remembrance to me means like remembering what people did for us to enable us to kind of live a free and happy life now. And any soldiers that did anything for us, anybody like that did anything that has helped us live in society today and be able to live our free and happy life.
Remembrance is my old man served in the Royal Signals in the Second World War. He was proud to have worked in places like Yugoslavia, talking to Tito's partisans up in the hills, and he was one of the last people to get demobbed in January 1948 from Middle East Command at the barracks in Jerusalem. So Remembrance Day to me is people like my old man.
If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here, so we're there to like say thank you and be proud that they've done something for us and helped us be where we are now.
I think if I was sat in front of them, I'd be really honoured to be sat in front of them. It's like
you'd be speechless because you don't know how you could like approach them or like how you could say thank you because they've done such a big thing for us.
Remembrance means to me that we're like remembering like the fellow soldiers and veterans that have fought for us, and we want to show our respect towards them, to those that have lost their lives and then those that are still alive at the same time.
My grandfather, he had a fantastic sense of humour, despite, you know, everything that he went through. Very respectable man, and he honoured and loved our country as I do.
Remembrance Day, it is the one day of the year where everybody should, I think, stop, think, and thank the lads and the lasses who have gone, and the lads and lasses who are serving now, because the tradition's carrying on. Because if ever we finish again with our backs to the wall, who will we turn to? Our armed forces. And let's face it, our armed forces are second to none, and them better than most.
I wouldn't know where to begin. Thank yous. Almost too simple to say, but you can imagine what people went through. No sleep, little food, constant danger, constant fear, but to keep going, and to keep going for us, and that's what we do. We remember that sacrifice.
Thank you, because we wouldn't be able to be here without them giving up their lives.
It's like hard to say thank you because it's such a big thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's nothing of it.
No, you can't really sum it up much more than thank you.
Thank you for serving our country and well done for what you've done.
Thank you for giving us the life we have now, because we won't know what it'd be like if they hadn't fought for us.